What's going on, guys? So, I got my hunting bracket in the mail. I took a few shots with it down here in the shop. I haven't taken it out to the range yet, but I just wanted to get a feel for it because obviously it's going to feel a little different. I wanted to put my opinion out because when I was looking to purchase this, I couldn't find any reviews about the difference between hunting bracket and no hunting bracket. Is it worth the buy? Is it not worth the buy? And I think I came to a conclusion, to be honest with you, and I kind of want to go over it with it. So I'm going to shoot a few arrows with you guys, and we'll get started. I have my oral band on there, but when I'm sitting here practicing, I don't. The only time I'm going to use that is for hunting. It's easy enough to just. I can, Side note, I'm finding that the whole rattling thing is not a big deal. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's easy to put back in place with your fingers. It's not inconvenient at all. One thing I do notice about this is that I did find a few videos that people were saying that when they put their bracket on that it made their release hotter, and I actually want to go the other way with that. I thought it made it a lot colder. I did think it was strange how, the whole point of the design of this release is, you can draw with all your fingers in the release so you can get a nice even anchor every time. But when you throw this hunting bracket on, you're almost forced to kind of draw your bow back with more thumb and index, just because this pad really, it really wants you to, come in just a little bit more colder. I mean, you can kind of, after you take a few shots, you'll get the feel of it. You'll realize you don't have to go very cold, but not a bad thing. It does take a few shots to get used to, but once you get the feel of it and once you just kind of get comfortable, it's like anything else. I like that extra security because if I am in a hunting situation, being able to draw my bow back, get into anchor, and not really worry about my click going off and having to get ready for the shot, I can kind of really just take a deep breath, take all the time I need, and drawing back a little colder is going to really help me with that. A big reason why I bought this release, guys, is I was noticing, because like when I was drawing my bow back, my elbow, I wasn't utilizing my click to help me. So when I come into my anchor, I wasn't bringing so much my elbow back. I was rotating into my click. With this thing, I'm drawing and I'm learning to put my elbow in, keeping my elbow in check as my click goes off. You know what I mean? I did notice it had a weird feel when I put this hunting bracket on and I drew that bow. It felt like I was pulling a long time. It was almost like my elbow wasn't straight back. It was almost like I was like extended too far. But I took a video of myself and it wasn't the case. It actually, my click goes off right when my elbow is lined up right where it's supposed to be, and I don't know what's going on with that. I think it's clearly all in my head, but it is something to note. So you do have a lot more wiggle room when you have this hunting bracket on, unless you obviously set your click hotter before, the second you put it on. But just be aware, guys, that you might have to mess with your click setting when you throw this hunting bracket on. It may change how you feel about this release as far as drawing and getting to anchors. So just keep that in mind, guys. But the cool thing about they made it so this hunting bracket, you can still fit that Allen key down in that hole, so you can still adjust your click without having to take anything off. Overall, it didn't add a lot of weight. I didn't throw this thing on a scale. You can get the weights online. I didn't compare them, but I was curious because I didn't want to spend $50, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. Originally, I was going to, because I figured, hey, if I'm trying to add a little bit of weight, that's the way to do it. But I was trying to go the cheap way out, so I stuck with the $30 original. And it added a little bit to it, but it's still very light. If you guys think that you're going to buy the cheaper bracket and it's going to still give you that weight, if you think it's going to give you more weight, it's really not. It's still very light. So if weight's something that if you have an aluminum hinge and you guys are looking for more weight, the brass is definitely a better option. But if you're somebody that doesn't really care about that, then go with the cheaper version. It just kind of made it feel a little different. So just keep that in mind, guys. I wish I kind of could find a video before I bought this, because there wasn't a lot of comparison videos with the hinge with or without the hunting brackets, and I just thought it was weird. I don't want to repeat myself, but the whole thing, the whole design that went into this release is helping you draw your bow with a hinge release like a normal release, just the comfort. But when you put this bracket on, it does kind of force you to draw cold. And I just didn't understand what the whole hype was about that, to be honest with you, because it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the design. Still, it's an awesome. If I am being 100% honest, because like I've obviously had a few different releases. I haven't shot all of the releases, but as far as the releases that I've picked up, this is the most comfortable release that I've ever shot. This is the most comfortable when it comes to sitting in my anchor, the draw. Every part of my shot process is comfortable because of this. But it could also be because I've been keeping my form in check. I've been watching videos. I've been changing my technique. See, I feel like I'm waiting for that. I try to get the click as I come into anchor, but I put my elbow back, and it feels like it's way too far back, but it's not. It's just a little bit of a different feel. It's not as sensitive. When I first got this release and I was messing around with my click setting, I set this thing pretty hot, and it was, one shot out of 10, I would have a shot that kind of gets to me. Maybe the arrow kind of went off way before where I didn't think it was supposed to or whatever. But anyways, if you're sitting there and you're debating whether to get the hunting bracket or not, because you don't know if it's worth the money or not, I would say so far, yes. Because even when I'm not hunting, I'm just going to keep this thing on here. I'm going to keep it on, and I'm just going to shoot this release permanently with this on here. Why not? I can put a lanyard here if I want to. The thumb peg is nice. It's a really nice feature. And it's just kind of that security, even at the range, even at a 3D shoot, if I'm shooting elevation shots, it's just that little bit of insurance. You never know sometimes with the hinge. If you draw back or something's different, just a little bit different that one time, it could just screw your shot all up. So this bracket kind of gives you that insurance, if that makes any sense. But I hope this helps, guys. And, like always, keep shooting, but keep it fun.